Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed honored and privileged to have with us Mr. Ujjwal Munjal. A brief introduction. Mr. Ujjwal Munjal, after completing his BBA in International Management from the Pepperdine University, California, started his career as a trainee with KPMG Consulting and with Hero Motorcorp Limited. He joined Rockman Industries Limited, one of the oldest companies of the Hero Group, in the year 2003. He gradually moved up and now serves the organization in the capacity of Executive Director. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a big round of applause once again. I'd like to invite him to deliver the valedictory address.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Minister, delegates, let me begin by thanking IESA for inviting me here to share my thoughts. In the same breath, I'd also like to hold Raja and Virappan responsible for conning me into being here in front of you today. Let me apologize right in the beginning, for all that I'm going to say is things that all of you in the industry are already well aware of. So in that sense, I'll be preaching to the choir. I also do not speak over here as an expert of the industry by any standards, but rather just a passionate, patriotic entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, we're indeed living in exciting times. Technology, electronics, and connected devices are disrupting everything we do. They're empowering industries to revolutionize manufacturing in the new industrial age and challenging traditional business models. Globally, we're embracing smart cities, which are integrating multiple information and IoT solutions to change the way we live and governments govern. Even in India, we have set ourselves a bold target of 100+ smart cities. The world around us is really changing, and changing fast. From the way we hail a cab, From the way we hail a cab to the way we shop or the way we educate our children is all driven by technology in one form or the other. Technology that each of you in your individual capacities and the organizations you lead are helping define. Where we are today is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's a lot more on its way. New technologies such as virtual reality and augmented reality are challenging the dimensions of our physical world, opening endless possibilities. According to IDC estimates, AR and VR will alone represent a $160 billion market opportunity by 2020. Even as consumers of technology, our demands are both increasing and evolving at an unprecedented rate, from mobility to wearables to home automation. The list is really quite long. A staggering 3 billion computing devices are expected to be sold in the current year. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is to a population of 7 billion. By 2020, 200 million units of wearable computing devices are going to be shipped around the world. This includes everything from watches, smart clothing, to eyewear. This rise of a digital world is being enabled by the convergence of 3 key technologies: the electronic hardware acting as the body, powerful embedded software acting as the soul, and finally, the brain with its ability to sense, communicate, and process information. Let's talk specifically about India. Although we are one of the fastest growing electronic consumers in the world, domestic production and assembly is abysmally low. We are at $31 billion as of FY15, which is 1.5% of global output, against a market estimate of $70 billion, while the demand for electronics is expected to cross $400 billion by 2020. The best industry estimates suggest that we will reach a mere 100 billion in manufacturing. While the facts can be overwhelming, just given the sheer size of our domestic market, the signals are loud and clear. There is a large opportunity and taking the lead to create these products and solutions. This marks the clear way ahead for each of us here to step out of back rooms of global innovators and drive innovation in electronics at the front end. Together, all of us need to drive towards leading consumer-facing technology and innovation out of India. While we have made our mark globally as a software and services leader, we are yet to gain our rightful place on the hardware side. Today, we don't have the innovation ecosystem that is coming together in leaders like Silicon Valley and Israel. We have several multi-billion-dollar organizations operating in the software domain here in India, from IBM, Microsoft, American Express to various others. While several of you here are leaders on the hardware side, investing in technology and innovation, we are a very long way away on the hardware technology. There is a long way to go before we can position ourselves as a global leader. India, as a manufacturing hub, is even further away. Even much smaller countries like Vietnam and Malaysia have a much larger electronics manufacturing base than India does, in spite of our advantage of a massive domestic market. Today, we don't have a single semiconductor fab or the capability to fabricate complex multi-layer PCBs. If one were to draw a comparison, Malaysia has 5 semiconductor fabs, Singapore 14, Vietnam 2, and Korea 7. And ladies and gentlemen, all of these countries put together do not have the talent pool or the market that India does. How do we then together embark on this journey? If we look around this room, we can clearly see we've got capabilities, we've got the ambition to define the next chapter of digital India and electronics. According to us at Hero, a leapfrog ahead, we need to prioritize on 3 things. The first, think big and take risks. Together, we need to establish an environment that encourages and rewards risk-taking and entrepreneurship. We need to believe that we can compete with the best in the world. Historically, India doesn't have many examples of companies that have been risk takers or world bearers. The IT industry has done it to some extent, but more from a services model. The pharma industry is currently attempting to do it. A clear example would be one in the automobile industry, where players such as TVS, Bajaj, and Hero have taken the leap forward and started developing indigenous technology that is competing with global leaders, not just here in India, but around the world. Companies like Tata and Mahindra are today aiming to introduce global products designed and manufactured out of India. Such aspiration, tenacity, and investments are the need of the hour in the electronics industry as well. The second point being, we need to think different and innovate. In addition to thinking big, we need to innovate to compete. We are facing entrenched competition from scaled players in Southeast Asia and China, and a me-too approach will just not work. We need to dig deep to find our strengths, whether it is leveraging our engineering talent to differentiate in high-mix manufacturing or software-led differentiation in product development. We will have to find ways to negate our late start. We need to invest in talent. Luckily for India, we are blessed with a large young population that is hungry for change. They are willing to work and push themselves aggressively. They are free from the burdens of the past and willing to experiment. We need to back them. We need to invest in them. We need to drive here the need towards ensuring our next generation steps out of back rooms and engages in higher value-added design manufacturing activities. With the correct multifaceted impetus, we can rightly boost investments behind high-value design manufacturing in our country. This is the only way we can create indigenous products and solutions which will target the global market. We at Hero truly believe we can repeat the software success in India. At Hero Electronix, we have got ambitious and audacious plans to participate in this digital revolution. We have taken initial steps through our partnership with MyBox Technologies and Tessolve. Beyond them, we've got ambitions across the electronics value chain, including fabless semiconductors, component manufacturing, electronic devices, and digital IoT solutions. We are keenly looking towards B2C products and evaluating technologies such as home automation and security, AR and VR. Overall, Hero Electronics' vision is to back entrepreneurs and companies working on products that are IP-driven and globally competitive. We also plan to partner with global technology leaders via joint ventures and technical alliances in products and components ranging from PCBs, passive components to IoT solutions. For this purpose, the Hero Group has allocated a corpus of $100 million to be invested over the next 5 years. In conclusion, I would like to reiterate that we in India are amidst a digital revolution and clearly have an opportunity to be torchbearers in the electronics industry going forward. With technology leaders such as all of you here in this room, I believe India can gain its rightful place. We at Hero Electronics are thrilled to participate in this change with you. Jai Hind.